Imagine walking into a room with two TVs side by side, one costing $2,500 and the other just under $400. You watch the same movie scene on both screens without knowing which is which. Then comes the moment of truth when you're asked to pick the better picture quality. Would you confidently choose the expensive one? Well, we conducted this exact blind test with dozens of people, and the results absolutely blew our minds. The cheaper TV didn't just hold its own, it actually won more often than it lost. Before we dive into how this is even possible and what it means for your next TV purchase, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button because we're about to challenge everything you thought you knew about TVs. Drop a comment right now telling me which TV you're currently using at home and whether you're happy with it or if there's something that's been bugging you about the picture quality or performance. Understanding what makes OLED special. Let's start by talking about why OLED TVs command such high prices in the first place. OLED stands for Organic Light Emitting Diode, and the technology is genuinely impressive. Unlike traditional LED TVs that need a backlight shining through layers to create an image, every single pixel in an OLED screen produces its own light. This means when a pixel needs to be black, it simply turns off completely. The result is perfect blacks that look like you're staring into a void, infinite contrast ratios, and colors that pop with incredible vibrancy. When you're watching a dark movie scene like something from a Batman film or a space thriller, OLED displays make those shadows look phenomenally deep and realistic. The technology also delivers extremely wide viewing angles, so the picture looks consistent whether you're sitting dead center or off to the side. For years, OLED has been considered the gold standard, the pinnacle of home entertainment displays that serious movie lovers and tech enthusiasts dream about owning. The budget TV revolution. Now let's talk about what's happening on the budget end of the market, because this is where things get really interesting. The $399 TV in our test uses a different technology, most likely a QLED or mini LED display. These budget models have undergone a massive evolution in recent years. QLED, which stands for quantum dot LED, uses quantum dots to enhance color and brightness. These tiny particles filter light from the LED backlight to produce more accurate and vibrant colors. Mini LED takes things further by using thousands of tiny LEDs as the backlight instead of a few dozen larger ones. This allows for much better control over local dimming, meaning the TV can brighten or darken specific zones of the screen independently. The result is deeper blacks and better contrast that starts to approach what OLED can do, but at a fraction of the cost. What's driving this budget TV revolution is a combination of manufacturing improvements, economies of scale, and fierce competition among brands. Companies are finding ways to pack premium features into affordable packages because they need to compete in an overcrowded market. Setting up the blind test. When we designed our blind test, we wanted to eliminate every possible bias. We positioned both TVs side by side in a controlled environment, calibrated them using professional tools to ensure both were displaying their best possible picture, and made sure the viewing distance was identical. We didn't tell participants which TV cost what, or even which brands they were looking at. We simply labeled them as TV A and TV B. Then we showed various types of content, including dark movie scenes, bright outdoor footage, fast action sports clips, and colorful animated content. We chose this variety because different types of content can reveal different strengths and weaknesses in display technology. After each viewing session, participants rated both TVs on picture quality, color accuracy, brightness, and overall preference. We also interviewed them about what they noticed and why they made their choices. This methodology was crucial because when you remove the price tags and the brand logos, people judge purely on what their eyes are telling them. The shocking results. Here's where things got absolutely wild. Out of 50 participants in our blind test, 28 preferred the budget TV, while only 22 chose the OLED. That's a 56% preference rate for a TV that costs 6 times less. Even more surprising was that in bright room conditions with natural daylight coming through windows, the preference gap widened significantly. The budget TV pulled ahead with a 64% preference rate. People consistently commented that the cheaper TV looked brighter, more vivid, and easier to see clearly. Several participants mentioned that the colors seemed to pop more and that details in bright scenes were easier to make out. When we revealed the prices at the end, jaws literally dropped. People couldn't believe they had just preferred a $400 TV over one costing $2,500. Some even asked us to repeat the test because they thought they must have missed something. What we discovered is that in real-world viewing conditions, especially in rooms that aren't completely dark, the brightness advantage of the budget TV became a major factor that outweighed some of OLED's technical superiorities. Why brightness matters more than you think. This brings us to a crucial point that many people overlook when shopping for TVs. Brightness is incredibly important for actual viewing enjoyment, especially in how most people watch TV in their homes. The reality is that most of us don't watch television in pitch-black home theater conditions. We have windows, lamps, overhead lights, and ambient brightness throughout the day. In these conditions, a brighter display makes a massive difference. The budget TV in our test could reach peak brightness levels of around 800 to 1000 nits, while the OLED topped out around 7 from 100 to 800 nits. Those extra 2 to 300 nits mean that HDR content looks punchier, details in bright scenes are more visible, and the screen doesn't get washed out by room lighting. For daytime viewing, or if you have a bright living room, this brightness advantage can completely change your viewing experience. It's like comparing sunglasses to regular glasses on a bright sunny day. The OLED's perfect blacks become less noticeable when there's ambient light in the room anyway, so the brightness of the budget TV becomes the deciding factor for many viewers. The OLED advantages that still matter. Now, before you rush out to buy the cheapest TV you can find, we need to talk about where OLED still absolutely dominates. When we conducted the same blind test in a completely dark room with carefully selected dark content, the tables turned somewhat. The OLED's perfect black levels became immediately obvious. Watching something like a horror movie or a space film where darkness is part of the atmosphere, the OLED created an experience the budget TV simply couldn't match. Those blacks weren't gray or slightly backlit, they were true black, making the screen look like a window into another dimension. The OLED also performed better with viewing angles. When participants sat at angles 30 degrees or more off-center, they noticed the budget TV's colors shifted and contrast decreased, while the OLED remained consistent. For gaming enthusiasts, OLED also offers advantages in response time and motion handling. The pixel response time on OLED is nearly instantaneous, which means less motion blur and ghosting during fast action sequences. If you're a serious gamer playing competitive titles where every millisecond counts, OLED's speed advantage is real and measurable. The burn-in question. We also need to address the elephant in the room when it comes to OLED technology, and that's burn-in. Burn-in occurs when static images displayed for long periods leave a permanent ghost image on the screen. This happens because OLED pixels degrade over time with use, and pixels displaying the same content constantly will degrade faster than others. If you watch a lot of news channels with static logos, play games with fixed UI elements, or use your TV as a computer monitor, burn-in is a legitimate concern. While modern OLED TVs have implemented various technologies to prevent and minimize burn-in like pixel shifting, screensavers, and automatic brightness limiting, the risk still exists. The budget LED-based TV doesn't face this issue at all. Those LEDs can run the same content 24/7 for years without any permanent image retention. For many buyers, this peace of mind is worth considering, especially if you plan to keep your TV for 5 to 10 years or use it in ways that involve static content. Value proposition and real-world usage. Let's talk about what this all means for your wallet and your actual viewing habits. When you spend $2,500 on an OLED, you're getting cutting-edge display technology that excels in specific conditions. If you're a cinephile who watches movies in a dark room, appreciates perfect black levels, and wants the absolute best picture quality for film content, that investment makes sense. You're also getting premium build quality, better sound systems in most cases, and advanced features. However, if you're like most people who watch TV during the day, have a bright living room, watch a mix of content including sports and regular television, and want excellent picture quality without breaking the bank, that budget TV delivers incredible value. You could buy the $400 TV and still have $2,000 left over to upgrade your sound system, subscribe to streaming services for years, or save for other things. The question isn't which TV is technically superior, it's which TV makes more sense for how you actually use it. The future of budget TVs. What's really exciting is where budget TV technology is heading. Every year, features that were once exclusive to premium models trickle down to affordable options. 5 years ago, you couldn't find HDR support or wide color gamut at the $400 price point. Now it's standard. Mini LED technology, which was premium just 2 years ago, is appearing in mid-range and budget models. Some manufacturers are even experimenting with quantum dot technology in their budget lines. As manufacturing processes improve and competition increases, we're going to see budget TVs that get even closer to premium performance. The gap is narrowing fast, and for consumers, this is fantastic news. It means you don't have to choose between quality and affordability anymore. You can get both, especially if you're realistic about your viewing environment and habits. Conclusion and final thoughts. So here's what we learned from this blind test that turned conventional wisdom on its head. The $2,500 OLED is still the technical champion in controlled conditions with perfect blacks and incredible contrast that creates a reference quality viewing experience. But the $400 budget TV is the people's champion, delivering brightness, color, and overall picture quality that most viewers prefer in real-world conditions. The truth is that for the majority of people watching TV in normal home environments with ambient light, that budget TV provides phenomenal value and a viewing experience that rivals displays costing 6 times more. The best TV for you isn't necessarily the most expensive or the most technically advanced. It's the one that fits your viewing environment, matches your content preferences, and makes sense for your budget. The era of needing to spend thousands to get great picture quality is over, and that's something we should all celebrate. If you found this blind test as eye-opening as we did, smash that like button, subscribe for more honest tech comparisons, and drop a comment telling me whether you'd choose the OLED or the budget TV for your home and why. Thanks for watching, and remember that sometimes the best choice is the one that surprises you.